Hello everybody. So I am about to start my next commission and I thought it'd be a good idea just to show you how I lay it out. So I've got this gorgeous boy to start and I'm going to be drawing him on anthracite pastlemat board. Now lots of people use light boxes or projectors to lay out their drawings. Um, The trouble is with a light box, as I am drawing on pastlemat board, there is no way that light is going to get through and I can see what I'm doing. As for projectors, for a decent projector to project the image with detail, they are a lot of money. You can't get a cheap projector and expect it to do decent things because it just doesn't work. It's just not good enough. So I found this way works really well. Again, this is for a commission, and I just don't have time to lay out the drawings as I have shown previously on my channel. Um, it just takes too long. It takes long enough as it is with coloured pencil to finish the drawing. But if you've got to spend 4 or 5 hours laying it out, it just doesn't work. It just takes too long. Um, you've got to get commissions turned around, or else you're just not going to earn any money. So, um, and people might say this is cheating. Well, this is just going to be a line drawing. It's just going to be an outline. So, it's a quick and easy way of getting your proportions down, and um, and the skill is still you still need skill to to finish the drawing, to colour it in and make it look three-dimensional and make it look like it's the dog that it is. Um, so so all I've done there is taken an 8B pencil and just scribbled on the back of my printout. Um, Now, if I was drawing directly onto paper, that would be enough, and I would be able to just put it down and draw over the top, and it would print on to my surface. As I am using pastlemat, obviously that's not going to show up on there very well. You need a lot of graphite down, and then you need to press quite firmly to get the outline onto your chosen surface. So what I do after I lay down the graphite is I take some graphite powder and just brush this over the top. This is messy. It is really messy. You need to be really careful, especially if you are working on if you're working on paper, I wouldn't suggest the graphite powder. I would suggest just going over it, just scribbling over the back with the 8B or a dark, it doesn't need to be 8B, just a dark pencil. And I definitely wouldn't do this with the graphite powder because, like I say, it is messy. And the graphite powder doesn't sink into the paper, it sits on top. So if I was to turn this over and just put my hand on it and just press down, all the graphite is going to come off where my hand is onto your chosen surface. And like I say, if you're using paper, um, then it is messy. Obviously, you can erase all of the graphite that you put down, but even so, it's still a messy way of doing it. But because I'm I'm doing it on the dark pastel mat, it it just doesn't show up unless you've got a lot of graphite on there. So I've just got a bit of graphite there, so I'll just take that off. Now that's the back of it, and that is the front. So now I'm going to place it where I want it to be, which is there. There we go. Now, tape it down. Just a bit of masking tape on the top and bottom. Just make sure it doesn't move whilst you're drawing over the top of it. That's the last thing that we want. And then I use, where is it? Here, a mechanical pencil, because it's a nice fine lead, and with this, I'm gonna have to press quite hard to get the graphite transferred onto the pastel mat. So all I do now is just go around the edge. Like I say, I'm pressing quite firmly, but I'm not pressing that hard that I'm going to damage the pastel mat. And all I do is just go around getting the outline and any areas that will help me when it comes to filling it in. So, for example, I've just done the side of the ear there, but I'll also do this shadow, so that then I can see when I take this off that that's the shadow part, and then the ear starts there. So just go around the ear, and then around the top of the head. Like I say, this is just to get the outline. If I had my way, I would do it. If I had the time, I would do it how I've already shown on my channel with measuring and using the bearing points, and that way you can upscale and downscale and do whatever you want. But it's just too time consuming. It really is. Whereas this is 10 or 15 minutes and your outline's done, and you can start the actual filling it in then. So we're just going to go around the eye, and you've got to pay attention to which side of the line you're drawing on. So, for example, that black bit there, you don't want to just do a line through the middle of it. You want to go around the one side of it, and then the other side as well. And it just makes it so much easier than trying to do it freehand or with the method I've already discussed. And again, just getting this shadow in, and anywhere that I think will help me when it comes to actually colouring him in, because this will be, although he's a black dog, there's lots of blues and purples, and so he will be stunning when he's done. I'm very excited about this one, to be honest. It's a lovely clear reference image, which again is so important, and it's a lovely composition, which again is very important. If you don't get a decent composition, or your reference image is poor, it's very difficult to achieve what you're going to be trying to achieve with a poor reference photo. So again, this here, the side of his snout and this shadow. Now, because the pastel mat is dark underneath, I will not have it's not going to be really easy to see once I've done this. So what I tend to do is go over the graphite with, especially if it's on dark pastel mat, with a white pencil or a light grey pencil, and that way you don't lose your image so easily. Then if you just leave it as graphite and try and start, your image will disappear on you as your hand moves over the as your hand moves over the surface, it will wipe off the graphite. And then you're struggling again because then you've got to work out proportions and all that. And if you, I mean, this one will be okay because like I said, the reference image is good, so I can use this size reference image to draw from. If the reference image is poor and you've just got a little reference image, but you're trying to draw a big drawing, that's when it gets very difficult. If you lose your outline, if you lose your line drawing, it becomes almost impossible because you've you've just got so many. Everything's been enlarged, and trying to keep it all enlarged in the same, so that it's all in proportion. It's very difficult. You have to almost trick your mind into seeing it bigger than it actually is, which, yeah, as I say, is not easy. So you're much better off spending the time and getting a decent line drawing, and then before you start doing anything, just go over it and make sure that everything is where it needs to be, and get it all finalized before you actually start trying to fill it in. So that's got his nose, his eyes, his ears, down the side of his face. So we just need to do down here. And then again, I mean, this you can do as much or as little detail as you want with this. Um, there's really, like I say, some people will say you're cheating. Well, let them say you're cheating. What's it matter? All with commissions, especially, all people that commission you to do the drawing, all they're bothered about is the end result. They don't care how you got there, as long as it's what it needs to be, as in it looks like the dog or the horse or the cat or whatever it is that you're drawing. As long as it looks what it's supposed to look like, nobody cares how you got there. It doesn't, it doesn't matter. What matters is the end result. So I'm just going to get this bit of light area here and just a few of these bits, just so that you can see which way the hair is growing. And again, just on his ear, just a few of these dark bits. It just makes it so much easier when it comes to um, filling it in and rendering it to a finished drawing. It's much easier if you've got these like indicators, just to indicate which way things are going. And like I say, these it's important that these bits are right for the animal to look the way you want it to look, um, or human or whatever it is you're drawing. It's these it's this that makes it that dog. It's those eyes that make you look at it and say, yeah, that's my dog. Which that, do you know what I mean? It's not, you can't just draw what you think is there, or a random. I mean, this is a black Labrador, so I can't just draw a random black Labrador and expect the client to be happy with that, because that's not this dog. It needs to be this dog. So take your time with this, because it really is. This is one of the most important bits. Um, like I say, once you've got this sorted and you've got your layout done, it's that's when the fun starts. Then you can start to have fun with it. But if you're spending hours and hours and hours trying to get your layout sorted, that there's just not much fun in that. There really isn't. So take your time with it. Let's get the shadow of the nose. think that will be okay. So we now need to see if we can actually see the graphite on there. And you might not be able to see it on camera because it's very, very, very light. But I can see it, which is all that matters. So there you go. That's how I lay out my drawings. Any questions? Feel free to comment and I will answer as soon as I can.